Hello and welcome back to Football Daily, where today we're taking you through 10 cold-blooded footballers that ruined the career of a fellow professional. Here we go. 10. Richard Wright. Richard Wright is undoubtedly one of Britain's slyest footballers. The goalkeeper made his debut for Ipswich aged just 17 and racked up 240 appearances for the Tractor Boys between 1995 and 2001, even helping his side to an unlikely 5th place finish in his final season. But over the next 15 years of his career, Wright played only 140 games at an average of 9 per season. During that period, he made less than 10 appearances for 6 clubs and didn't play a single minute for the final 5 years of his career. He made £1.4 million off his 4-year stay at Man City, where he was on £7,000 a week, but Wright not only robbed a career, he also stole someone else's. Aston Villa had high hopes for Belgian striker Luc Nilis when he arrived from PSV in 2000, having played alongside both Ronaldo and Ruud van Nistelrooy. But during just his 3rd game for the Villains, Nilis collided with Wright, suffering a double compound fracture of his right shin. Although he didn't end up losing his leg completely as some initially feared, Nilis' career was sadly over. 9. Gerard Piqué. Piqué has been immense for Barcelona and Spain over the last 8 years, winning 23 major trophies including 3 Champions Leagues, 6 La Ligas, 1 European Championships and a World Cup. His elegant ball carrying and excellent passing ability has been at the centre of 2 treble-winning sides. His imperious form and partnership with Carlos Puyol meant that numerous centre-backs including Gabriel Milito and Marc Bartra struggled to get a look in between 2009 and 2014. But none of their careers collapsed quite as drastically as Dmytro Chigrinsky. Signed from Shakhtar Donetsk in 2009 for €25 million on the back of helping the Miners to consecutive league titles, Chigrinsky only made 12 appearances for the Blaugrana in his one and only season in Spain. With his confidence completely shattered, Chigrinsky only made 37 appearances over the next 5 years and is now chasing titles once again, but this time with AEK Athens in Greece. 8. Peter Schmeichel. The Great Dane, who played 292 games for the Red Devils between 1991 and 1999, is in contention for the greatest Premier League goalkeeper of all time. He won 5 Premier League titles, 3 FA Cups and was a key component of United's magnificent treble-winning side. Replacing the 30-year-old shot-stopper was always going to prove one of the hardest tasks in Sir Alex Ferguson's career, but he didn't half it up. A succession of United keepers, including the likes of Mark Bosnich, Massimo Taibbi, Roy Carroll and Tim Howard, were all tried and all failed. Taibbi and Carroll in particular will always be associated with infamous mistakes. Fabian Barthez did have his moments between 2000 and 2004, but his eccentricity often came at the detriment of the team. Look, Schmeichel didn't ruin all of their careers, but they were always going to struggle to match his incredible standards. Many ended up in the doldrums of world football. Van der Gaal in the Dutch 2nd Division, Bosnich in his native Australia, Taibbi in Serie B and Carroll in Greece. 7. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Ibra is a phenomenon, winning a trophy in every year of his career since 2001, league titles in 4 different countries and 8 in a row between 2003 and 2011. However, Zlatan has made some enemies along the way. From Rafael van der Vaart to Pep Guardiola, he certainly doesn't do anything quietly. But no one has felt the enormous Swede's wrath quite like Oguchi Onyewu. In 2010, Zlatan joined Milan on loan, and during a training session before the derby, he came to blows with American centre-back Onyewu. After Zlatan had had enough of his verbal abuse, he two-footed the defender. In his autobiography, Zlatan even described the incident. "I headbutted him. We flew at each other. We wanted to tear limb from limb. It was brutal." Ibra was left with a broken rib, but Onyewu came off worse. The injury-prone defender even left the club at the end of the following season, having never made an appearance for the Rossoneri. After unsuccessful spells playing in Holland, Portugal, Spain and England with QPR, Wednesday and Charlton, he now represents Philadelphia Union, a far cry from rubbing shoulder to shoulder with some of the world's best in Serie A. 6. Pep Guardiola. Before he became arguably the most influential coach of his generation, Pep Guardiola was a technically gifted deep-lying playmaker that made 263 appearances in over a decade at the Nou Camp. The fulcrum of Johan Cruyff's dream team, he won the club's first European Cup in 1992 and 4 straight La Liga titles between 1991 and 94. After leaving in 2001, he joined Brescia to play alongside Roberto Baggio and replace the outgoing Andrea Pirlo. But how do you replace a man with Barcelona DNA running through his veins? Or not with Fabio Rockenbach. The Brazilian picked up 10 yellow cards in his 20 La Liga appearances for Barcelona before the hierarchy realised he was a poor man's Kleberson, let alone Guardiola. After an unremarkable career playing for Sporting and Middlesbrough, Rockenbach returned to his native Brazil. And get this, in October 2017, 89 roosters were seized and Rockenbach was arrested for his part in an illegal cockfighting ring. One career which well and truly hit rock bottom. 5. Johnny Evans. When you think about the most injury-prone players of this generation, the likes of Owen, Hargreaves, Diaby, Pato and Vermaelen might spring to mind. But all of their injury woes pale into insignificance when compared with American central midfielder Stuart Holden. Holden was playing for Bolton against Man United in April 2011 when a challenge with Johnny Evans left him with a broken leg. On his return, a loose pin was discovered, forcing him into surgery, meaning he missed the rest of the following season too. Holden was loaned to Sheffield Wednesday for the 2013 season and his form earned him a recall to the US squad for that year's Gold Cup. But in the final he sadly ruptured his ACL, keeping him out for 9 more months. In his comeback game for Bolton Wanderers, he did it again, forcing him to retire from the game aged just 28. Between Evans' challenge and Holden's retirement, he only managed to play 11 games for club and country, a career that was well and truly ruined by injury. 4. Dennis Irwin and Brian McClare. The injury that ruined Coventry defender Dave Bust's career is widely considered to be one of the most gruesome in the history of the beautiful game. Just 2 minutes into Coventry's game at Man United in April 1996, Bust ventured forward for a corner, collided with Irwin and McClare and suffered extensive compound fractures to both the tibia and fibula of his right leg. It took 9 minutes to get Bust off the pitch and water and sand had to be used to get his blood off the surface. After seeing the incident, Schmeichel vomited onto the pitch and a number of the players even had to receive counselling. After initial fears that the Englishman would lose his leg, it was saved by 26 operations. But his career was well and truly over by then. 3. John Terry. The next case doesn't include horrific injury or failing to replace a predecessor, but rather adultery. That's because many believe that John Terry ruined the career and for a short time the life of club and international teammate Wayne Bridge. Whilst they were playing together for Chelsea and England, his captain was hiding the worst sort of secret. Bridge had been dating French model Vanessa Parancel and they even had a child together. But then it was revealed that Parancel was having an affair, and after an attempt to gag the press failed, Terry was revealed as the sack of that was behind it. The news was all over the tabloids. Bridge moved to Man City, his form took a nosedive, and he ended his career playing for Sunderland, Brighton, and then Reading. Romantically though, he definitely bounced back, and is now happily married to a member of the Saturdays. Yep, it's Frankie Bridge. 2. Mauro Icardi. Imagine the Terry Bridge situation, but worse. Much worse. When Maxi Lopez joined Sampdoria from Catania on loan in July 2012, he struck up a friendship with fellow Argentine striker, 19-year-old Mauro Icardi, who had only transferred from Barcelona's La Masia Academy the previous year. Icardi had a stellar 2012-13 campaign, his first at senior level, netting an impressive 11 goals in 33 games for the side. However, Icardi wasn't only scoring on the pitch. In December 2013, it was revealed that Lopez's wife and mother of his 3 children, Argentine model Wanda Nara, was cheating on him with Icardi. The Argentine and Nara got married only 5 months later and now have 2 daughters of their own. As if to rub salt in the wound, the snake even got the name of Lopez's children tattooed on himself. Wanda Nara now even acts as Icardi's agent and secured him a lucrative new contract with Inter Milan, which included a £98 million release clause in 2016. Meanwhile, Lopez is playing for mid-table Udinese, but who knows what would have happened if Icardi hadn't slithered into his personal life. 1. Joey Barton. There aren't many footballers who have had a more colourful career than Barton. He's raged against just about everyone, assaulted teammate Darbo and been arrested for criminal damage as well as going to jail for common assault. Despite being more technically gifted than many people give him credit for, Barton has repeatedly failed to keep a lid on his temper. Undoubtedly though, the lowlight of his career came when he allegedly stubbed out a cigarette in 23-year-old academy graduate Jamie Tandy's eye at the Man City Christmas party. According to Barton, Tandy set his costume on fire and he retaliated by attempting to stub out a cigar on Tandy's neck, but at the crucial moment, Tandy turned around and the cigarette hit his eye. Tandy sold his story to the papers and was subsequently released by City, although he did go on to play in Denmark, Thailand and Australia whilst working as a scaffolder on the side. After being released by Salford City in 2014, Tandy went into freefall, turned to drink and gambling, and in December 2015 went to court for assaulting his girlfriend. But who does he blame for the end of his career and his subsequent misdemeanours? Yep, you guessed it, Joey Barton.
Congratulations, you've reached the end of the video. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you're looking for more great content, why don't you click in this box here? And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.